Peace, Oakland. What's up? Welcome to the live stream. I wait for the room to fill up. Meanwhile, I'll look for some. Peace, Oakland. If you're like me, you need one of these right now. Oh boy. So, what you thinking? Talk to me. Looks to me like, yeah, we got Barbara Lee. And ranked choice voting was not the culprit this time. It looked like it was a outright victory. Um, don't feel bad. We did put in all the work, but it's all good. But she won pretty handily. So I was trying to find that scene from Braveheart when it was like, you don't have to fight beat the English, you have to just fight. But yeah, I couldn't find it in time to start the live. So I think that right now, hopefully the right people are talking to, well, not our official new mayor yet, because they're going to take forever to count all the votes, right? They're going to take a long time. But I don't think there's any way that Lauren can come back from that amount of votes being down. Let's see what the media is saying and check in on that. The Hill Rising calling it Barbara Lee wins Oakland mayor's race. That's the photo I used. I thought that was probably how she feels inside right now. Like, oh crap, I got to go fix this city. She's projected to win. She is the first Black female mayor, woman mayor of Oakland. And so we should congratulate her and be gracious losers. I didn't want this to happen. I am concerned mainly about our future. And since it's Good Friday, I'm going to, I'm in my home office, so I'll keep my Bible handy. We're going to pray for Oakland, and we'll pray for our new mayor. And hopefully, we will resurrect the city. All right. That was a quick prayer. but yeah, man. God help us. For real. She did. She won fair and square, exactly. Cat Primo, you got it right. No RCV, no cheating. I don't think there was anything nefarious. It's very hard to beat that amount of name recognition, especially when you have a special election and low information voters. So here's my biggest immediate concern. Here's what I think is going to be the very, very, very first test. The very first test, I think, because Measure A passed, right? The very first test, I think, is going to be bringing workers back. So I'm trying to bring up a video. Give me 1 second here. I apologize for the dead air. But while I look it up, Oakland workers were supposed to come back to work, and it's been postponed to June. I don't know if you know that, but man, I don't see anything on YouTube. But there was a push to bring Oakland workers back, and then they were supposed to come back, and then all of a sudden, they delayed it. And they delayed it because, oh, here we go. I got it. So give me 1 second. Okay. So they delayed this. Here's the real reason they delayed it. When they announced it, they had not met and conferred with the unions yet. And so you can't just do that without meeting and conferring with the unions. Now, what a meet and confer is, it's not negotiations. It means that there must be a good faith conversation and a discussion about the process and timeline of bringing workers back to City Hall. And since they skipped that, I believe they were trying to scoop Lauren Taylor because he was using that as his early campaign message that he was going to bring workers back. And so in order to take that from him, this is just my opinion, right? They went ahead and got ahead of it, knowing they could just go back on it any time. Regardless of what the hypothesis is of why, the facts are that they promised to bring Oakland workers back into a Mayor Kevin Jenkins, and then they went back on that. So let's watch a quick video.
The only thing up in the air at Oakland City Hall today was supposed to be the day city workers returned to the office after several years of working remotely. But the city administrator has pushed back that deadline until June. Our Dara St. Cyr spoke with a deli worker who is counting down those days.
Most of Rado's customer base were people coming in during their lunch break, but that changed after the pandemic. Now employees are wondering if they'll ever see that foot traffic again.
Jason? Hello, how are
The
you?
lunch rush at Rado's in downtown Oakland is more of a trickle these days.
Roast pig with extra meat and sweet cheese?
Julieta Flores works the register here, and she says Rado's customer base was cut in half when people started working from home during the pandemic. She's looking forward to them coming back.
I miss to see their faces, how excited they were to get a sandwich especially.
But she may need to wait longer. Oakland's return to office order, which will require Union City employees to come to work 4 days a week, has been delayed until June 2nd. CBS News.
Okay, it is 2025. COVID was in 2021. Why are workers still gone? At least 4 years, so, we can give it 1 year COVID.
Bay Area obtained a memo from City Administrator Justin Johnson that says the city, workers, and unions are trying to work out a deal. It's unclear why the date was pushed back. Union members told us off camera that they plan to meet with city officials to discuss a better return to office rollout, but there isn't an exact date for when that might be. Abby Royce with the Bay Area Council says the mandate may not be the silver bullet that saves downtown businesses.
It's not a massive, figure when we think about how many people that would actually bring back to downtown.
A lot. We need to go to downtown. Workers go to downtown. It's like symbolic. It's not dead.
Like other Bay Area cities, downtown Oakland has struggled with record.
Not understanding the concept of critical mass is just how out of touch Oakland is with our business community. These are simple business concepts. Very, very simple concept. Critical mass. If you see a place that's empty, no one goes. It's scary. If you see a place where there's a critical mass, you're more likely to consider stopping and shopping and going to that area. Also, the more people you have, the safer it is. So when things are desolate, it gives more confidence to criminals and people who are up to no good that they can get away with things. This is literally not that complicated for anyone who understands how a city is supposed to work.
Record high office vacancy levels. The downtown vacancy rate was nearly 30%, according to recent figures from commercial real estate company CBRE.
All right.
But regardless of the return to office date, customers at Rado's hope it goes smoothly.
I love it here. I hope that they got more business.
I do too. I think it's good when it's like the places are crowded. It's better atmosphere for everyone.
And as for Flores, this is a temporary setback. She's confident she'll see her regulars once again.
And I'm excited. Hopefully I can see some of the customers that are not here anymore. Hopefully now that they're back, we can see their faces now.
Flores told me that Rado's reduced their hours to stay open, and she's hoping that June 2nd will finally change that.
To the mayor's office.
June 2nd, 2 more months. April's really nice. May's really nice. We're missing all of these beautiful days when people could be downtown, again, having a critical mass. And instead, what do we have? We have people say they have to work out a deal with the union. Justin, I know a lot of people in City Hall watch my show, so let me make sure my mic's on. Justin Jenkins, whatever your name is, city administrator. A meet and confer is not a negotiation. You don't have to work out anything. You have to do a good faith conversation about that. You're going to be bringing your employees back to work the way that things used to be before the pandemic. But here's why they won't do it. Every single place that's been audited, San Francisco, every single place that's been audited, what did you find out? A significant number of workers are working other jobs. Let me see if I can find something. People working second jobs while working for the city. Really, really bad, right? I'm trying to find it right now, but there was a lawsuit or something about it. But I'm pretty confident that a lot of people have a double dipping, which is not illegal. Not legal, I mean. And also, people may have moved. Now, some people are already flex work, so we know that those people didn't move, or maybe they moved outside of Oakland. But some people who are 100% remote may have actually left the whole city, right? So anyway, that's the problem for me. I think that the unions, I know for 100% fact, what they're saying is workers have childcare concerns, huh? Although there is a childcare center next to City Hall and a civic center for employees. Number two, workers are saying that the commute, because of rising gas prices, has put the commute out of their price. That means they moved away from the city. How many of them actually still live here? And then another one was, I think that was the two main ones: childcare and adjustment back to their life, and all of these things. None of them has had anything to do with the city of Oakland and taxpayers, by the way. And I also know that Barbara Lee has parroted those concerns in meetings with the business community, and that is a little bit of a problem. So yeah. Oh, good. We finally have our friends coming here. Say hi to Christian Closet, the weirdos who never seem to say hi to me in public. You know, I go out and people always cheer me, but never in public do I see the weirdos come up and say hi. I mean, maybe they're with their little boxes. But anyway, Barbara Lee to resurrect Oakland. Here's what she's going to have to do. Number one, get rid of the dead weight around you. I covered this on my last episode, so go back and watch it. Get rid of the dead weight. That's very important. You got hanger-ons and sycophants around you who do not have Oakland's best interest in mind. They have a direct, matter of fact, let's make it easy. Anyone who supported Shane Tao, who has not apologized and been very clear that they made a mistake and had a lapse in judgment, don't have them involved with your new administration. Let's have a clean break from anyone related to Tao, right? Let's do that. Second, get the workers back in City Hall back to work. Very, very, very important. And third, listen to the people. You can't lead from remote. You're not a food blogger. You're actually going to have to be accessible to the people and hear criticism of people who you spend a lot of money on you, like the unions, for example. Those people smeared Lauren Taylor, called him Trump. Let's talk about that for a second. They spent a couple $100,000 from California Nurses Association and SCIU in order to smear Lauren Taylor. Lauren Taylor is the number one vote getter in the Democratic Central Committee in the last election. She got more votes than anyone. Now, I'm not a Democrat. I don't really care too much about the Democrats. But the facts are, he is just as popular as any Democrat in Oakland or Alameda County not named Barbara Lee that we learned today. And he even gave her a slight run for her money. And I say slight because 5,000 votes is a pretty big gap. And even though that she needed a few rounds of ranked choice voting, like I said, ranked choice voting was insignificant. We saw less than 1% of anybody got, which I pretty much called. No one got more than 1% of the actual vote. Let me check this. Let's go take a look at that, as a matter of fact. Let's look at the election results. All right. Here we go. Oh, by the way, congratulations to Charlene Wong, who will be the new city council member for District 2. Finally getting Rebecca Coppin, the F up out of here. Thank God. Okay, so here we go. First round results. We got, I'm sorry, let me click the bye-bye. By Christian comments. They're gone. I don't do stalky crap here. You be respectful in this comment section, or we will kick you the fuck up out of here. So anyway, back to this document. I gave him, her, they, them, whatever the fuck, litter box kitty, these weirdos. I gave them a chance, but they kept going on. I don't have time for that. We're not here for that. 47,045 votes, 50.6% in round one, which means that there was no ranked choice voting needed with the current amount of votes that we have. So I take back what I said. There was no RCV needed. And Tyrone Jordan was the only, and he gave 10 grand of Barbalese IE, and I thought he dropped out, but yet he was still counted. He was the only person to break 1%. Not even Mindy broke 1%. Nobody broke 1%. So this was pretty much a head-to-head election. If you want to see where the ranked choice voting tabulations went, you can. For example, President Christina. How did she get that name in? They made Elisa Victory change her name, but they let her get away with president. That's not her government name. I doubt that. And she gave, if you look down here, Lauren Taylor the most votes from President Christina Guapo. I mean, I would go through all of them, but it's not really relevant, so I'm not going to do that. But I do want to say, here's one thing that's I thought was very, very interesting about this election. And it's a big criticism of RCV and not having a primary. There were a minimum of three candidates for mayor who were certifiably mentally ill. There were at least three candidates for mayor who were certifiably mentally ill. Peter Liu is a fucking nutbag. Rania Webb, bless her heart, and I'm not saying this to be malicious, but she really should get some help. And then President Christina Guapo, she had like a freaking a mask on and Zoom interviews in her house. Like she was matched up in a Zoom interview in her house. Now, I mean, you got to be mentally ill. I'm not trying to be mean, but like, what are these people doing running for office? They're not going to run this city. We have ranked choice voting. That could have been, yes, the turnout was embarrassing. That could have been disastrous to have people. The fact that mentally ill people could have potentially altered the course of an election is really, really, really not a good look. So we need to get rid of ranked choice voting. We got to get rid of ranked choice voting. And Barbalese said several times that she wanted to get rid of ranked choice voting. So we should make that happen. Barbalese, in her, since she's got the ring, she's making people kiss the ring, right? We should absolutely ask her to help people get rid of ranked choice voting. She doesn't like it. Her constituents don't like it. I think that we should get rid of it. Oh, yes, Rania says someone, I know, Rania Webb, it's Gotham, Oakland. I'm just going to put it up here. This is what I'm talking about. This is well known. Lots of people know that. A mayoral candidate said that she thought someone peed on her head. I think she said it was Brandon Harami at that. It was just even weirder. And if there's anyone in the world I would believe would do something like that, it would be Harami, but I don't even believe he would do. Like, what the heck? How do you even do that without someone knowing? I think she said it was coming through the ceiling and someone was in her attic and peeing and the pee was dripping from her attic onto her head or some crazy shit. I don't know. But I do know this. Rania Webb had a great kickoff. I went, as well as a few hundred other people. It was at Town Fair at the Oakland Museum. The food was banging. And she spent more, or somebody spent more on that kickoff than was spent on her entire campaign because she didn't raise any money, like $1,000 or something. So, yeah, I want to really see the precinct breakdown too. We're waiting for it to come. But here's what I think, to make some predictions about the precinct breakdown. I think that the entire Flats pretty much voted overwhelmingly for Barbalese. And then you have your typical Hill hippies. And places that voted overwhelmingly for the recall, think about demographics for a second. The number one demographic that hated Tsingtao, and if you've been following me, you know I've been saying this for a minute, is older black women. She gotta go. That's all they said. When you talk to older black women, I'm gonna pull up a couple of videos maybe. At first thing they said, oh, Shan, give me that thing. She gotta go. That is Barbara Lee's base. That is Barbara Lee's base. And so the fact that the number one identified, not that every older Black woman voted for Barbara Lee. I know lots of them who said she doesn't speak for them, including Judge Brenda Harping Forte, who made a video about it. But the point is, our number one demographic absolutely was skewed toward Barbara Lee because they saw themselves. People want to vote for themselves and people who they identify with. And so, yeah. What are some more thoughts I have before I check up out of here? So I think now the silver lining here of not getting the candidate that I would have preferred to win, even though I think that Lauren would have faced significant headwinds from an unfriendly city council in a place where you don't have a strong mayor. Actually, let me take this time out to talk about that. Everybody wants to talk about charter amendments and the fact that, yeah, she said she's going to modernize the charter. Thank you. So let me look at something real quick. I'm gonna give me 5 seconds, and I'm looking up an article that I did, and this is really, this is what's funny. So check this out. Check out this article. Oakland Mayor's Race, an interview with candidate Seneca Scott, October 5th, 2022. October 5th, 2022. Neighborhood organizers said he'll restore rule of law in Oakland and make the city more economically resilient. And blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to read just the first part of this. In recent years, this is the question from the Oakland side panel. In recent years, there have been several examples of tension between the city council and city administrator. Often the city council doesn't feel like the city administrator is enacting the policies and laws they've approved. On the other hand, the city administration staff often feels like the city council is overstepping or loading up their plate with too much work. If you were elected mayor, how would you repair this relationship? Here's my answer. Now, I was mocked on social media by progressive, called power hungry, and all types of names for this take that I'm about to read. And now ask yourself if it sounds familiar today. This is me. I don't want to make too many assumptions about why people think there's an adversarial relationship. We need to set things up so we can have healthy communication between these departments. Here's the big issue in Oakland City structure, and it's been this way since 1998 with the passing of Measure X, which created a hybrid system of government where the mayor has the power to hire the city administrator while the city council maintains the power to pass legislation and ultimately the budget. So right in there is no political delineation of power. Because I didn't say that, I said there's no clear delineation of power, but that's okay. Because if the mayor has an agenda, and that agenda is opposed by the majority of city council, then they can thwart the mayor's agenda. Ultimately, we elect a figurehead as mayor. And the mayor that we elect needs to have accountability to implement the policies they're elected on without being usurped by the council's legislative power. I'm the only candidate pushing aggressively for a charter amendment for an accountable Oakland. Darwin Bongram asks, do you want an even stronger mayor? Seneca Scott says, I would like to use the word accountable. Strong doesn't appear in any legislative charter. That's all marketing, that's all framing. This isn't about strong or not strong. It's about whether the mayor has the accountability and the ability to implement the policies that they were elected on. And right now, unless those policies are supported by the majority of city council, the answer is no. Every other major city in California doesn't deal with that. San Francisco doesn't deal with that. Long Beach doesn't deal with that. Los Angeles doesn't deal with that, and I can go on. It was all in the Spur report that was released in November of last year. Spur put out a report, Making Government Work, on November 15, 2021. I suggest you go look at it. Both Lauren Taylor and Shin Tao said that they agree with this report's findings. And when I asked Lauren why he didn't run on it, he said it was unpopular. He didn't want to risk it. Think about that. Right? We have another person we need to kick out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for letting you guys be trolled. My apologies, I wasn't checking it. So anyway, we don't do that divisive, weirdo stuff. So now Barbara Lee says she wants to modernize the charter. in people. She's so wise. She's so stunning, so brave. It's cool when they do it. It's the problem when I do it. Fuck them, I guess. But anyway, it seems I'm always 2-3 years ahead here on what we're asking for. So anyway, we do need a charter amendment, and I would be happy to see Barbara Lee lead something like that. And as long as my ideas are being implemented, it looks like we've won. Public safety is the number one priority. Candidates feel comfortable with naming. They fit 850 police. Cap Brooks would have whipped anyone else to shreds if they wanted 850 cops. But now the Barbara Lee wants 850 cops. Cap Brooks says, "Oh my God, Queen, yes, Queen, you got it. 850 police, more police. We don't hate police anymore. Defund the police. We didn't do that. Huh? What? That was Lauren Taylor." If we have that energy in Oakland City Hall, if we continue with that middle school mean girls crap, and Barbara Lee in her advanced years, supposed to be a wise statesperson, continues to allow, I'll say, because her campaign was run by these people, then yeah, we cooked out here. Hopefully that doesn't happen. And that prayer that I said earlier, and I'll say an exit prayer. And on Good Friday, if you're out here, if you're with the Lord with me, happy Good Friday and happy Easter. And we're praying for you, Barbara Lee. Your success is ours, and your failure is our misery. And I really hope that God touches you and your soul and your heart to remove these people from around you who are up to no good, who want to continue poverty pimping this beautiful city of ours. That being said, peace, y'all. I love you. Good night. Have a good one. Happy Easter.